What's going on, all you wild cowboy enthusiasts? It's your two favorite.
Yeah.
Whoa, easy there. It's your two favorite Taylor Sheridan impersonators back here for Cinephellas. I'm Logan Myers, my good mate over there.
And I'm Henry Hill, and we're back today. We're reviewing the brand new Taylor Sheridan creation out of the Yellowstone universe. This time we're taking it straight to 1923.
The last thing you ever do.
A few years back, we'll say that. So, yet another chapter in the Taylor Sheridan universe. This man is making a killing with Paramount Plus putting out original shows, a few that are in the Yellowstone universe, and a few other shows outside of that. But this one is yet another prequel to the really hot hit #1 TV show right now, Yellowstone. This is the prequel, 1923. We're dealing with, before the Great Depression, dealing with some of the war aftermath of that, Prohibition, a lot of stuff going on here. But we're introduced to Jacob Dutton, played by one of my favorite actors of all time, Han Solo himself. And the first time making his appearance on television, I'm talking about Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, right behind me. And then also we got Cara Dutton, played by Helen Mirren. And the introduction of the episode, we get to see what Cara Dutton's really made of. It's kind of like a little bit of a shootout with this guy, and she brings out her shotgun and kills him, and really kicks off the episode and the vibe they're going for.
Really sets the tone. Taylor Sheridan, he's had so much success, obviously, with Yellowstone and 1883, and now he, just keeps getting these high-profile actors to come over and do the show. And now you get, Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford. It's pretty spectacular. It just goes to show the strength of his work and just how popular and successful he's been. And, given us another spinoff. And based on this first episode, there's a lot to like here and a lot to enjoy, a lot of similarities from Yellowstone in 1883 too. And we're getting to learn more about the Dutton family. And, this time they're actually on the ranch, the same ranch that we see, Kevin Costner on in Yellowstone. It's, going back in the day to his grandparents and seeing how, they were taking care of the ranch and how everything was ran. And right off the bat, yep, you get Cara Dutton with the shotgun. Pretty awesome introduction to her character. And then it goes on from there, and we meet, Harrison Ford, the head of the ranch, and you see all these, problems coming his way in the form of, people coming at him. The livestock commissioner, Harrison Ford's playing Jacob Dutton. And so he has to hear all the problems from the townspeople. And we see a face that you'll recognize from Game of Thrones, Jerome Flynn playing Scotsman Banner Creighton, who's complaining about this problem with, these sheep. And there's a lot of tensions between the cowboys and these sheep herders going on. So he has a lot on his plate, just like, Kevin Costner does on Yellowstone. You see a lot of similarities between the two, and a good introduction to both characters and diving into this universe. And then we also get these side stories, and also we learn about Spencer.
Yeah, so we're introduced to Spencer Dutton, played by Brandon Sklenner. His introduction was pretty cool. He's on the safari of sorts in Kenya. He's basically hunting, animals and things like that, and he gets glimpses of his time in the war. So he has PTSD. How he's dealing with that is killing, these wild animals, lions and cheetahs and things like that. So we're introduced to his character in like a safari, in Africa. Really hot there. You have all these massive predators all around them. Back then they didn't have the technology, so you always had to watch your back. Big lions. And there's a scene with him with a huge lion that runs out at him, and he has to pull a gun on it. It's really, really cool. However they did that looked really realistic. But that's kind of his focus in this episode. The first episode is him being in Kenya and trying to kill these animals with his crew, and he meets this girl, and really sets up towards the end of the episode what happens to her.
Spencer is James Dutton's younger son. He was obviously younger in 1883. Tim McGraw's character. So that's who he is. He's, obviously older in 1923 now. So we're following that character. So you're getting all these, following all these different generations of this family. It's really interesting. And they're all at different places in their lives and across the globe. Much like Taylor Sheridan's other work, we are also looking into the indigenous people, the Native Americans, and you get this whole side story following Tiona Rainwater, played by Amina Nieves. She's at this parochial school. It's ran by a bunch of crazy nuns and hardcore religious people, and it shows her having to answer these questions from this nun, and she's getting her hands slapped every time. She's getting whipped, and then she just starts duking it out with the nun and like really beats her up to a bloody pulp. And they go back and they get in trouble, obviously, and they're having a talk with the priest. The priest takes it out on the nun, and it's this whole cruel, like sadistic circle that's going on there with like abuse and trying to make each other feel guilty for their sin and all that. Very interesting. Taylor Sheridan always wants to show all sides of the story and different perspectives and how people were living at this time. So it's really interesting to follow that character. Yeah, right away, what you notice from this, it feels like Yellowstone. It feels like it's in the same universe as what we've seen. Beautiful cinematography. Obviously, you're seeing Montana yet again, but in 1923, so you're seeing it like how it was back in the Old West, with the saloons and downtown. Kind of gave me like, Tombstone vibes when we saw Jacob go downtown there, and you saw all the saloons and the bars, and then all the people picketing out for Prohibition and all that. So very interesting. Has that signature Yellowstone feel. Feels very cinematic, and I was really blown away by this first episode. And as per usual, another winner from Taylor Sheridan.
It's not really hard to believe these days. He keeps knocking it out of the park, one hit after the next. And yeah, I love the show. The first episode really had me invested, and no surprise there. I love the characters. Harrison Ford being one of my favorite actors, seeing him dive into TV as old rugged cowboy Jacob Dutton, showing up to save his family after John, his brother, died, and building this empire, as they say in the show. It's building the Dutton Empire and building the land. And, it's an ongoing battle. There's a war, the people, developers, sheep herders, there's always something going on. 100 years later, not much has changed. They're always trying to take out the Duttons and steal the land. So that's kind of the setup of this. Really going to be some powerhouse performances here with Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford. A-listers, Hollywood A-listers. They're getting pretty old, getting up there these days, but really love seeing them in television in this Taylor Sheridan universe, and really excited to see where the show goes. Some other characters in this, as we talked about, Spencer Dutton, Brandon Sklenar was really great. The rest of the supporting cast is really phenomenal. Love the time period, love the whole scope of the show. The landscapes are absolutely beautiful, per usual. We get to see Dutton Ranch, the old bunkhouse. In one scene of the episode was really cool. And yeah, not much has changed there. It pretty much looks the same. So that's interesting. 100 years later, that still has a solid foundation of the ranch. But really blown away with this. I love the side stories as well. Interested to see where those go. And overall, I'm very pleased with the first episode of 1923. That being said, I'm going to give the first episode of 1923, streaming on Paramount Plus, a 4 out of 5 Harrison Ford hair pieces.
It was also really cool to see Robert Patrick,
Yes,
as one of the characters here. I forgot that he had been cast in this, so I was kind of surprised seeing him. He looks like somebody that would be around this time in the saloon drinking, and that's cool that he has a close confidant with Jacob. So it'll be interesting to see those two work together as the weeks go on. Going into this, I was kind of afraid that we'd maybe see one of the leads die, just knowing they're Harrison Ford. This is his first TV show, the only TV work he's done. So I was kind of worried that maybe they'd have, introduce him in the first episode and then maybe have like him die by the end and have, Helen Mirren as the lead, but happy that he survived and he's going to be in more episodes. I was a little worried there, but that did not happen. So it's good that Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren are going to have more scenes together. And I look forward to seeing those two work together. It's awesome. It's what Yellowstone's all about, is why the Duttons are so tied to this ranch, why they want to protect it. It's just another generation, and seeing everything, all the work that was done and everything that they had to, go up against to preserve the land there. It's why, the Duttons are how they are. And Taylor Sheridan writes this amazingly, and it's another winner. Like we said before, all the dialogue, all the writing, spectacular. Everything about this first episode was great. Can't wait to see more. It's going to be every Sunday night. So I think the regular Yellowstone is going on a break after tonight's episode. So this is going to bridge the gap until we get to like part 2 of the season of Yellowstone. But with that being said, I'm going to give 1923 a 4 Out of 5 Helen Mirren hairpieces.
Beautiful hair there, Helen. So interested from hearing from all you wild cowboys out there, cowgirls as well. What did you like about the first episode of 1923? What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out these wild ranch handlers on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV movie news and reviews.
Well, no surprises here. Another winner from Taylor Sheridan. I can't wait for more. I want more spinoffs. I know, exactly. I can't wait for the 4/6s. I've been waiting for that for a long time. It'll be nice to see Jimmy again, see what he's been up to. Haven't seen that wild boy. We'll see if he can, make it and make his comeback to the Dutton Ranch and be successful where he's at, and then come back eventually. But can't wait for that. I can't wait for more Taylor Sheridan. The guy can't miss lately. And we have, Mayor of Kingstown coming back. We've had Tulsa King, which is about halfway in the season, I believe. That's been phenomenal. The Bass Reeves story coming out later in 2023. Man, so much to look forward to, and can't wait for more of 1923. So thank you guys for watching our review of 1923. We hope everybody gets a chance to check this out, and please let us know in the comments what you guys thought of it too. So until the next Cinephellas TV review, I'm Uncle Henry Dutton.
And I'm Uncle Logan Mirren, signing out until the next TV review. Cheese!